Hello, myself is Dr. Praveen Bhandari. Today we are going to understand the type of flow, its dependence on the Reynolds number and its application. Now Reynolds number has varied applications in mass, momentum and the transportation of fluids. This can also be used to determine the types of the flow. So in this video session, we'll try to understand the different flow regimes, the use of Reynolds number in deciding those fluid regimes or type of flow and its application. So the learning objectives are, after watching this video, you will be able to calculate the Reynolds number, decide the type of the flow on the basis of value of Reynolds number, calculate the critical velocity, understand the effect of various parameters such as diameter of pipe, viscosity, velocity, and density of fluid on a nature of flow and value of Reynolds number. Now, we'll try to understand types of flow and its dependence on Reynolds number and what are the various applications. Now, when we are interested in deciding the type of flow, it can be decided on the basis of Reynolds number, which in turn depend upon diameter of fluid and velocity of fluid and density. From a continuity equation, we can understand that there is a interdependence between the velocity of the fluid and diameter of the fluid. Now, the flow of fluid can be observed on the basis of movements of the fluid particles or the nature of the difilament during the Reynolds experiment. So on the basis of nature of the difilament, we can decide the flow regime or the types of the flow. Now, to begin with, let us try to understand laminar flow. A flow in which each fluid particles move in a straight line path is laminar flow. In laminar flow, fluid particles moves in a layer such that each layer slides smoothly over the adjacent layer without intermixing. That means there is no intermixing of the fluid particles in a different layers. Now, this nature is generally observed in case of the highly viscous fluid. Even though for the sake of study, we are trying to understand the laminar flow, but it is more or less theoretical flow, and in a it's rarely observed in a day-to-day practice. Now, the depiction of the laminar flow is represented as shown in the figure, that the fluid layers are represented by the arrows, and it can be seen that the arrows are straight uh, in a nature, and the straight nature of the arrows represent the straight movement of the particles in the same layer. So there is no any intermixing of the fluid particles, as if they are flowing in the same lamina. And since the fluid movements can be seen as the movement of the particles in the same lamina, the flow is known as laminar flow. In case of the turbulent flow, there is an intermixing of fluid particles in a different layers, and that can be seen by observing the presence of eddies or zigzag movement of the particles. The arrows which can be seen or which are assumed to be representing the movement of the fluid particle, so the change uh, in the direction of the arrows, the back mixing, and all sides of that curve and the nature of the arrow shown in the figure represent that there is the formation of eddies, there is a back mixing, there is a intermixing of fluid particles in a different layers. and therefore this type of the flow is known as turbulent flow. All the flow observed or almost the flow of the fluid in our day-to-day life falls within the turbulent flow regime. Now the shift from laminar to turbulent is not all of a sudden, but there is a smooth transition from laminar to turbulent, and therefore as there is no any abrupt change from a laminar to turbulent, there is a smooth transition. So the flow regime between laminar and turbulent is known as transition flow regime. Now if we observe the nature of the flow in the form of difilament, then the laminar flow can be seen as the flow consisting of straight and intact nature of the difilament. Turbulent flow represent disturbed and diffuse difilament, whereas the intact but little wavy nature of the dye can be seen, can indicate the transition nature of the flow. So this little wavy nature of the dye represents the transition flow. In order to quantify the types of quantify and use certain quantitative measures to decide the type of the flow, there is a very popular dimensionless number known as Reynolds number, named after the scientist Osborne Reynolds, who demonstrated the dependence of type of flow on the values of the Reynolds number. So this Reynolds number is the ratio of inertial force to the viscous force. If U represent average velocity, mu represent absolute viscosity in Pascal second, nu represent kinematic viscosity, rho density of flowing fluid, d internal diameter of the pipe. Then the inertial force is equal to rho au square, viscous force is equal to rho mu u, and if substituted in the formula of Reynolds number, we get NRE is equal to du rho upon mu. It can also be shown as du upon nu, where nu is the kinematic viscosity. So the type of the flow can be decided on the basis of value or range of the Reynolds number. So if the Reynolds number is less than 2100, it represents laminar flow. If it is in between 2100 to 4000, it represents transition flow, and the values of the Reynolds number greater than 4000 represent the turbulent flow. The critical Reynolds number mark the change from laminar to transition flow as well as transition to turbulent flow. As discussed earlier, the change of flow regime from laminar to turbulent is not abrupt. There is a smooth transition. And but in general, whenever we discuss, we often say that for at a critical Reynolds number, the flow changes from laminar to turbulent. However, it does not abruptly changes from laminar to turbulent, but it changes from laminar to transition and transition to turbulent. Now, lower critical velocity and upper critical velocity and corresponding Reynolds number. So the flow change from laminar to turbulent is not sudden, it changes gradually. The velocity at which laminar flow ends, or when laminar flow turn into transition flow, is termed as lower critical velocity, whereas the velocity at which transition flow ends, or when transition flow turn into turbulent flow, it is known as upper critical velocity, and the corresponding Reynolds number are termed as lower and upper critical Reynolds number. But while solving the problems, if it is asked to calculate the critical velocity without specifying whether you have to calculate lower or upper critical velocity, you should straight away equate NRE equal to 2100, and substitute the value of diameter, then density and viscosity, and whatever the value of the velocity you get, that can be considered as the value of critical velocity. So please remember, even though it is not specified whether you have to calculate upper or lower critical velocity, and if you have to find out if it is just said that find out critical velocity, then you should take NRE is equal to 2100 and do the calculation. So whatever the value of the velocity you get can be represented as the critical velocity. Now the applications of Reynolds number are: the Reynolds number is useful for calculating friction factor, deciding the formula to be used for pressure drop calculations, determination of heat transfer coefficient, and the formulas to be used for calculating the heat transfer coefficient. You must be able to remember that for different flow regimes, there are different types of the formula to calculate the heat transfer coefficient. The values of the Reynolds number can also be used for determination of mass transfer coefficient and for determination of power required for mixing in a agitated vessel. So the key points to remember are: Reynolds number is the ratio of inertial force to the viscous force. The value of Reynolds number depend upon the variables such as diameter of pipe, density, viscosity, and velocity of flowing fluid. The Reynolds number calculated can be used for the estimation of various parameters related to mass, momentum, and heat transfer. Um, Thank you for watching the video. I'm very sure that you must have understood the concept of Reynolds number, the type of the flow regime, what is meant by laminar, transition, and turbulent flow, the mathematical expression used to calculate the Reynolds number, how to calculate the critical velocity, and the definition of upper and lower critical velocity. You might have understood how the laminar, transition, and turbulent flow are represented. Uh, Please, if I'm very sure that you must have liked the video, please like, subscribe, and share these videos amongst your networks. For more videos related to chemical engineering and allied topic, do visit my video YouTube channel Praveen Bhandari Nandurdi. Thank you for watching.